There you go.
All right. And then who would like to start us off with a prayer?
I guess I will this time.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny.
Our Heavenly Father, we're thankful that we could be able to be gathered together as group mates and be able to have this opportunity to get to know each other. And we're thankful for our opportunities to further our education and to learn more and to have more in our heads. And Heavenly Father, please help us to be able to process things and be able to understand and be able to do the things we need to do quickly and efficiently, but also effectively. And please bless the general authorities and local leaders that they'll be able to be inspired to know what the things they should do, and that we will have the courage to act on our proper things. And we say these things in Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
All right. So to just quickly summarize the case, I had to write it down or else I would forget. But I wrote, so Stephen Connor is the director of research, and he is looking for someone to replace Peter, who was the semiconductor analyst. So Stephen asked Peter's junior analyst, Rena, to temporarily replace him while he searches for a replacement. So he found 4 people to interview, which were Gerald, David, Sonia, and Seth. So now he's been struggling to figure out who to hire.
And he also has Rena in the mix.
Yeah, and Rena. Let's see. And then, let's see. So who wants to start off with the pros and cons of the candidates?
Well, I think they all have really good backgrounds, but diverse backgrounds and lots of different experience and education. But each of them have some sort of drawback, I would say. For one, David. I'm sorry?
I said we can just go through them. I'm trying to find where I made that whole chart of the who did what, and it's poof.
Yeah, I was trying to find my paper too, and I couldn't find it on this computer. But
it was in my document recovery stuff.
Yeah, no, my paper's at home, so it wasn't on Google Doc, and so when I come to the office, it's not here. But
you're in this office then?
Yeah, I had to come to work early today, but yeah. So David, he seems like he has a lot of experience. He's almost like a celebrity, don't you think? Like the Wall Street, everybody knows him, and he has lots of experience. He's just a fantastic candidate. The only drawback is he seems tired. He seems like he's already been there, done that, and he's just looking for something that he wants to do his own way, basically. Like in his interview, he said something about he wanted to do research on his own and do something that he is interested in. But
he's bored where he is.
Yeah, but this position, they are specifically looking for somebody who is going to write about what's that company name again? PowerChip. Yeah, so it's very specific job description, and it's not like something that you can just say, "Oh, I've done all these big names, I've done all this, big company. I want to do something that I'm interested in researching."
I don't think it's just that though.
Yeah.
Because yes, he's done a lot, and he's been in the business. He knows the people. He's got a ridiculous amount of contacts, which is really important in this industry.
Oh yeah.
I think he's bored more than anything where he is. But what he's saying, it's not that he didn't want to cover PowerChip. He was saying that he was only being allowed at this other company at Spencer's to work on these specific names and specific companies, and he didn't get a chance to look at any up and coming ones or new ones or do any research on those. And he's like, but Stephen was realizing that he wanted him to look at those too. And so I'm not sure that that's going to be as big of an issue. Maybe he wanted to, something I know that concerned people, although I personally think it's a good thing, is that he refused to come in and handle things when he was on vacation with his grandkids. He let his juniors handle it.
Mhm.
But we also said from someone else that he's a fantastic mentor. He teaches his juniors. He likes to help people grow.
Yeah, I like that part.
And so he didn't come in off of his vacation with his grandkids, and he did let his juniors handle it. Did they handle it? Or are we just freaking out because you really need to be on call 24/7?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be one of the bigger drawbacks, but almost a better thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Something that I saw from reading about David too was that it stated that he's a perfectionist. Like he required them to, dot their I's, cross their T's. But the problem was that he alone was not precise with his work. Like he had to have other people look over his work as well. So he's a perfectionist, but not technically with himself in a way.
He's perfectionist with others.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was more, one of the people saw it as making sure that the people under him knew how to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you get to a higher level, you're spending so much of your time on the research, on the actual job, on the interacting with the clients, with relationships, that if you can get the information on a document, then you hand it to your secretary and she fixes it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the little dotting I's and crossing T's. And then she can come back and say, hey, this is what you messed up. Did you mean this or that? And he can fix it and move on. I personally see that as more leveraging his time to work on things that are more important.
Yeah.
But some people could say, hey, you seem a little hypocritical here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Depends on where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about Gerald? What did you guys think about Gerald?
Isn't he the one who kept moving around jobs?
I'm sorry?
Isn't he the one who kept moving around jobs? Yeah. 3 companies in 6 years.
Yeah.
He treated his staff terribly. He fired a junior assistant during a presentation.
That's bad. I didn't like him.
And granted, he may be brilliant and he's really moving fast. He's all the way ranked 11th in 18 months. But where do you put? But if you're in a really team-oriented company and you want to really emphasize that team playing part, I'm not sure he's going to play well with others.
Yeah, I had the same feeling too, because since the company is such very team-oriented, and he's just not really, he, like you said, he fired
Yes, not.
his junior during a presentation.
The copy machine too? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very nitpicky about certain things, weird things, like the copy machine.
And he was 15 minutes late to the interview and not apologetic at all. I thought that's kind of tacky, you are the one looking for a job.
Yeah.
He should at least be on time and, be a little humble about the whole situation. But
you're gonna be late. Acknowledge that I was late. Own it.
Yeah, and say sorry, But I don't know. This guy seems really cocky to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't like him.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was, maybe clients like him a lot and maybe he's got charisma somewhere, but there's just a bunch of little things that I'm like, you've got a lot of better options here.
Yeah, I feel like he seems really prideful and cruel and, impersonable. Firing people in the middle of a presentation is just wrong.
Yeah.
Don't give people second chance. When you fire people, you do it privately. You praise people in public.
That's not when you fire people.
Yeah.
That means when you fire people in front of clients in the middle of a presentation, that means you're more so insecure with your own self.
Yeah.
And you're trying to show power. If you're really in a position of real power and you know it, you don't have to go trying to prove it to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something he's running into is he may know his stuff in the business, but if you feel like you have to prove yourself and how important you are constantly, or can be constantly trying to convince others how important you are,
Yeah.
I don't think you're really there then.
Yeah. This is what he says. He says, yeah, in the middle of a client presentation, in fact, laughed Gerald. He laughed about it. I feel you have to I feel you have to deal with incompetent decisively, he added. Casualties of my great work, I say.
Right?
That is so embarrassing to hear that. If
Yeah.
people would say that.
And I think that one of the other things he's looking for is someone who can become a good mentor to his junior staffers, because they're talking about teamwork and becoming mentors. So I put in my little chart thing of things that we were looking at, things to look for, because I put qualities the company was looking for and then the people and if they had them. And then I put those down at the bottom of my little chart thing.
Yeah.
Not pretty or anything, but it exists. And so one of the things I put, but if he's going to be a mentor, I think he would not be a mentor. If he was saying he was mentoring someone, he's just going to like bash him to pieces.
Yeah. No, I don't think.
People would be not wanting to work with him. Although they did say, as much as his staff hates him and he treats them terribly, his juniors were willing to move with him just because he does such good work.
Wait, was it him that when Stephen wanted to interview their junior staff too, they refused to come? Was it Gerald?
I don't know if that was David. Or maybe Seth.
No, it wasn't David.
No, David had.
I think it was Gerald. I don't think it was Seth or David.
Because there was somebody who treated him awful, but they were willing to move with him.
Yeah.
I think that would be. Yeah.
Gerald. And he is counting on a sizable compensation package too. And remember when Stephen asked him, what questions do you have? And all he asked was about money. What is the average compensation? What kind of stock option plan?
Yeah.
You know, he is very money motivated. I don't think Stephen was looking for a money motivated person.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he does have the material. He is being recognized as someone who's doing something. He is ranked. But if you're going for a team-oriented atmosphere, I think he's just
wrong place. Yeah, and Stephen doesn't want to bring him on to ruin the company culture either.
Right. And while you're talking about company culture, they do have a company culture of
teamwork.
Well, not just teamwork, but of building people up and having them move the ranks and developing your juniors and your other people.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we have to consider that was needed to be considered was if he does hire someone other than Rena to fill that spot, is he going to make the company culture and traditions of what is the right word for it? Succession planning. Will that show that you talk about succession planning, but do you really mean it if you bring someone outside? But at the same time, if he's promoting Rena years earlier than they were planning on, you do have to take that into consideration. Also, that and his boss doesn't want to hire Rena. I'm sorry, I'm just like totally jumping into Rena here.
Yeah, I feel like
I think that's fine. We can talk about Rena too, because we're in agreement. Gerald is not good for the position.
Yeah, and also I feel like Gerald, if he was to be hired, what is the guarantee that he will stay with the company and be loyal to the company?
And that's
if he gets a bigger package in another company, you know? Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, Stephen did ask him about that.
There's no guarantee.
And he's like, well, there's no guarantee, but I'm not leaving my job lightly because I'm not leaving my company just lightly because I feel like it, but still.
He flat out said, I don't think anyone can truly guarantee anything. So there's no guarantee.
But you're still awful.
Yeah.
As much as you may work for power, you're awful.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
she's good. She's a good worker.
Yeah. I like Sonia. I like Sonia Mitha, though.
She was one of my favorites too.
Yeah. I think one of her cons, though, would be that she does have a family, which would make it more difficult for her to travel on the job. And if I remember correctly, it even stated that in the in the case too.
Yeah.
She was a little iffy about traveling.
She doesn't, because she does have two small children. She doesn't. Well, that was what the client said. She doesn't like to travel. Doesn't mean she doesn't travel, but she doesn't like to travel. But she handles it well because then she sets up conference calls and meet and greets and she does all these other things.
Yeah.
And if you're really familiar with technology and you like to use it and you're in the technology industry, conference calls around the world aren't that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are we doing right here?
Yeah.
You can have a whole business deal like this.
Yeah. No, I really liked Sonia. Even her clients really liked her.
I think she is very, very competent.
Yeah.
She is very capable, very competent.
Reading when she said that, or they were talking about the money, the compensation, and then she felt like she was just really underpaid for what she was doing.
Well, something that made me kind of confused a little is when when Stephen was talking to one of the guys, he used totally different numbers. He used the 100,000 to 300,000 when he was talking to the guys. When he's talking to her, he starts talking about 700 to multiple millions. Those are really different numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he using different numbers for different people?
Okay, so
unless I didn't understand that.
So I have their salary information. Let me just share that with you guys.
I think you pay the person according to their experience. Like David, they're gonna pay him a lot more.
Right, which is why I was wondering why.
And Sonia, she being coming from a boutique shop, she's gonna get paid much less compared to David and Gerald.
Do you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. So it shows their current salary and then the salary that would be paid. So I'm assuming that's what Stephen was talking to them about, their different numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, their level that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word I'm saying? Would make their salary different based on their level.
Yeah.
Right. And how they're ranked matters.
Yeah.
And you pay them accordingly, which is appropriate. But I was just trying to figure out why he was talking to, I can't remember which guy he was talking to, but one of them he's talking about a base salary of 100,000 and then 300,000, which is not what we're looking at here. But with her, he's using way bigger numbers, which I really didn't understand why. Why are you using different numbers for different people?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you talking to the guy with low and telling him lower numbers than you're telling Sonia? Which makes no sense to me. Unless I was just misunderstanding what he was talking about.
Oh, weird.
Well, I really like Sonia because she asks really intelligent questions, good questions, and I think Sonia is probably the best for this position, but this position is not the best for her because with her children, and her personal schedule is probably not the best for her, even though she is probably the best amongst all the applicants. I think she is the best qualified or best suitable for our SH rather.
Mm-hmm.
One thing though is they really are looking for a star, and she's up and coming, but she doesn't have name recognition. She doesn't have that other stuff that they are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I still think as a person, she'll be better in that job.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be way less expensive for the company.
Yeah.
And
way less expensive.
Rena and Sonia can really connect, especially if Sonia's aware of gender roles and then she can, because Stephen's like, I never really thought about it. Mm-hmm. Not that that's something people need to be thinking about constantly, because I think your work should speak for yourself more than your gender, your whatever viewpoints, all the other stuff. But it might be something that they could connect over, because I wonder what would happen to Rena when whoever comes in.
with this whole thing, even though I like Sonia the best, I still think that Rena should be the one that get promoted to be the senior analyst, just because she has been with the company and she learned from the best. She learned from Peter. And so I'm sure somehow she picked up on some of Peter's good trait, you know. And also she is already familiar with the culture, the company culture. And she is hardworking. And Stephen even says, I like her work overall, you know. So covering power chip. And she is the least expensive for the company to promote.
True.
Yeah.
And he did
But
promote her. And the promotion's not disappearing. If someone comes in and brings their
it's
with,
just temporary.
but he said that if they do hire someone else, he'll still give her her own department, and she keeps her promotion, but she might shift a little bit in what she's researching.
Yeah. But she doesn't she say that she would
Really
rather
like what she's doing.
yeah, the semiconductor field. She really liked that field.
If she's not really mature enough and not really ready for the position, if it is years early,
Yeah.
I mean, this is an opportunity that could be great for her, but at the same time, if they really need someone who's experienced and knows what they're doing and present themselves well, and I don't know, because it sounds like Steven's boss doesn't want her in there in that position. And that's something Steven probably should take kind of seriously if it's his boss telling him he doesn't want her there.
Mm.
That's true. I also liked Rena. The comment I did see, and that was stated in the paper or in the case, was that she's not assertive. Not like
Yes, not as assertive as she should be.
yeah.
And she still checks with other analysts. She counts on their guidance, which is not a bad thing necessarily. But if you're not confident enough in your own material, or you're going and constantly checking with people, that's not going to warrant a lot of confidence in your client from your clients.
That's right. I agree with you, Jenny, that she still needs to grow a little in a way. Like she's good for the position she is, but she just herself needs to grow still. She needs to get to that level.
Right.
Remember
something that we need to remember, because didn't we just have that in our last case study? Someone who had got a job and shouldn't have got it yet.
Yeah.
Remember Sonia, she said that if she were to get on with RSH, she would like to have somebody to mentor her, to introduce her to, with the relationship with the traders and the salespeople. And I feel like, Reina already have those relationships.
I'm not sure. I don't remember it saying that she does. Reina has the relationships in the company, but I'm not sure she has all the connections outside the company with the other companies she's researching. Because I don't remember it saying that she does, and that's something that is really important.
Clients, but not too many.
You don't think she has too many of that relationship? I mean, after 3 years of working there, you would think that she already established that kind of relationship, to be a writer.
I don't think it's the type of relationships that Peter had with the clients.
Well, it's not like everybody brings all their junior staff with them to meet with clients.
Yeah.
You don't have principals taking their secretaries with them to go meet with district supervisors.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about Seth? He's the last one.
The super eager beaver?
Yeah. I don't know what to think about him. I have the same question as Stephen. If he is so good, how come Craig didn't have him on the list?
Yeah. I also thought it was kind of strange that
Craig.
I thought it was strange that he brought his reviews.
Yeah.
Clients.
He is all prepared.
Yeah.
That's better, because it does mean he's thinking ahead, and I understand that you don't know everybody around me who works with me. Here's some people you can talk to. He's like, and he said he usually uses them for performance reviews, which means he's already got them put together. So it wasn't like he made a whole separate project for it.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of strange. He did bring it to the interview, kind of saying like, "Look, here's the pile of all the people that
That
think
love me.
I'm great," you know.
Usually that kind of stuff comes in your second interview, if they ask for reference and you bring that stuff, but not your first interview.
It is a little different, but not necessarily bad.
It's not
different.
bad. I just thought it was strange.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Me
that's
too.
different.
Yeah.
And
So
I think there's a lot of it that's like that with Seth. He's really excited. Really excited.
yeah,
And I
that's
love
what I
it.
said, that he was really ambitious, that his goals were like
Mm-hmm.
really high, but he did seem to have that drive, that he would be able to meet those goals that he did have.
I
Kind of
feel like
opposite in the excitement level.
I feel like he is also a money motivated kind of guy too.
Yeah.
Because at the bottom it says that he wanted to make sure that his compensation reflects the gain that he has made for the company, because that's why he is not happy with his current company.
Yeah. I think they were all partially money motivated.
Well,
except
you have to be at least a point. To a point, you have to be.
Yeah.
Well, to be in this field, they all have to be.
Yeah. But I mean, like, they were, like, Gerald, that was, like, one of the first questions he asked was about money. David wanted a compensation guaranteed for 2 years, which...
You didn't actually ask for that. Stephen did. David was kind of more vague about compensation and what he wanted or needed. And Stephen got the feeling that he would want a guaranteed 2 years. But
necessarily, like, guaranteed that he would get that.
And you can't guarantee that if you're not bringing them that kind of money in,
Mm-hmm.
especially with a cyclical market. I can't give you money you're not making.
So between these 5 candidates, who would you guys hire personally?
I stated my position. I would just retain Rena. I think she is probably, she has been with the company for so long. She's been learning from Peter all this time. Stephen's even happy with her work. She seems modest and humble, and she is not, she doesn't have that cocky feel to me.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't seem like she is. She's just the kind that will really do. She is all into work, basically. That's how I feel about her, and she doesn't have the constraint of what Sonia has, with family. I feel like she already has all the relationship established. With the assertiveness, I feel like, once she has the official title, she'll probably be, more outgoing, hopefully, and be more assertive when it comes to her projects. I just cannot see the company hiring Gerald. Sonia might be, but Sonia has this constraint with her family. David is going to cost the company an arm and a leg, and he is tired. I don't know if he's
like I think something we keep not acknowledging is how important it was to Stephen, especially at the beginning when he started looking, to have a ranked person, to have star power, to have the right name recognition. Because that was one of the very first things they said. That was the very first things they bring up. Is we need someone in the industry who's got the contacts, who can just jump and go. I like she was probably my favorite.
I think Stephen also mentioned that he will be happy to get somebody who is up and coming, willing to train somebody who's up and coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where Sonia would make it be a good fit. And I think she'll fit the culture better than anyone else, except for maybe David. Seth is very enthusiastic, but I don't know. I know I don't want like Gerald. I probably
Nobody likes him.
And the excitement level of Seth is exciting. His biggest motivator, I think, is to get highest in the ranks, which would be good for the company he's working for. But I don't know how loyal he'll be. I think your best odds on loyalty would be David or Sonia, personally. David's going to cost more, but he's already in the industry. He's already known. He's got the experience. He is a good mentor. Yeah, it'll cost more, but if he makes that much more, it balances out.
Yeah. I was between Sonia and Rena. Just because like Annie said, Rena's already, she's already in the company. She knows the way around certain things. My problem is that she doesn't fit the leadership, or as she doesn't really feel like a leader, which, is something that she can learn and can be able to reach. But I also really like Sonia because how well her clients responded to her technical and sales background. Yeah, she has a family, but like Jenny said, she does conference calls. She's great at doing the conference, all the travel issue.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things that she's talked about, flexibility in her schedule. Not that she can't go do traveling, because she did say, yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I need to be able to be able to schedule my own travel, because I need to be able to do that. But at the same time, clients were talking about her poise and knowledge and the way she handles things and presents things. And when she was talking, she likes global stuff, which gives extra insight. And if that's something that the company isn't real strong in yet, she's got a lot of potential. And I don't think we can go around saying just because people have kids, they can't do a good job. Because then we're back in the 50s. You're going to get fired because now you're pregnant and you're a mom. So now as soon as you have kids, you have to quit your job and just to only be with them. And it doesn't mean just because you have kids, you can't do your job.
Exactly.
She is very competent, for sure.
And that's something that they're talking about.
Yeah. And she definitely has that star potential, and she wouldn't cost the company too much.
And she's got like long range vision. She was asking about organization. She was just the way wanting to talk to people in the field, want to talk to people who would be her supervisors or talking to her, wants to talk to people in the other firm.
Yeah, I think she is probably the best candidate among the four of them. I feel that's why I said she is probably the best one and good for the company. But is it good for her family? That's my only issue. Of course, when company are hiring, they are gonna find the best person that is the best for the company, not necessarily, think about their own personal life. So my point of view is not saying that, because she has a kid, she should not be, the company should not hire her. But as a company, just looking at her ability and her competency, I think they should hire her before they even consider the other guys. But I'm just thinking, for her personal situation, is this the best job right now when she has her children to care for?
I wonder if what she's doing now is actually more stressful than if she were to move to the big company. They're concerned about the volume of level and how many contacts she'll need to make. But I'm wondering if her stress levels would actually go down if she has a junior and some assistants. So she doesn't have to do all that other part, and she can leverage her time more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she would have to handle more people,
but she would have that help.
but she'd have more support.
Yeah, that's a really good point because she is doing everything all by herself and she is still, up and
She's
coming.
still-
And that's pretty amazing. Imagine if she were to have a couple junior staff to help her.
And the technology that's available, because she's saying stuff like that the technology where she is now, she doesn't have a whole lot to work with, but they have a lot of that already at the RRSH.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think Sonia would probably be the best just because, like we stated, with like her limitations that she has right now with her current company, she's been doing so great with them. And then just imagine all the things that she would have access to with this new company. I think she would just do much better.
Job.
Yeah.
I agree that she'd run into issues with her work-life balance, but that doesn't mean it's impossible.
Yeah, no, she's definitely making it currently right now.
It's a smaller place with less clients, and that was one of the things that some people were concerned was there's a lot that goes into it. Get married to your job and all that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and that's great. And I do like Rena, but I would be afraid of promoting her to a big department before she's quite ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, yes, she should. I think maybe moving her to a shifting. I mean, she likes the semiconductor industry. She likes this part. But if she wants to have her own group, maybe just working with a smaller group first, so she has that chance to develop.
Yeah.
I mean, don't take her promotion away, but because that was something Elsie was talking about. Yes, she likes this industry, and yes, she knows it. But if she's not really ready for that position, and they're really looking for stars and well-known names, she's not there. And we've seen, like, even just last week, it was talking about promoting people too early. I mean, we do have that other article that talks about you should raise your stars instead of hiring them, which applies directly to Rena, but I think you have to give her the chance to grow in a way where she can be successful without getting stomped on.
Yeah, Sonia is not well known yet.
No, but she
compared to David.
She was at least mentioned in the magazine as an up-and-comer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely something that Steven said he's willing to work with is, to help her get up there.
And that's part of the raising your own stars. But I think that's a big part of it. Is one of those, she's got the skills. She'll have to adjust, but that's why she wanted a mentor, was to get the contacts, get the introductions. Not so much that she needs a mentor to teach her how to write or how to know her business, but more to make the contacts and to get to know the people and get to a better grip on the culture faster.
Mm-hmm.
I do still think David would be another really good option because he's already there. You don't have to retrain him.
Yeah. I think the one problem I have with David is that he is older. And like it stated in the case that he would probably just get kind of, tired? Tired because he is older. It would be a little bit more.
I think he is worn out.
Yeah.
Could be. Something else I was thinking about with David, though, also is, yes, he's closer to retirement and being worn out and done. But if he can teach all his juniors and do all that mentoring and get them all the same contacts and connections before he's burnt out all the way, that gives him, well, because you take that experience, and he did say, yes, he would love to mentor other people and help them out and teach them. So you take that experience, maybe you don't have it for as long, but then you get to teach it to all these people underneath you. And then you have these guys who are ready.
I think it would be great if you just put David and Sonia together.
Right?
Mentor her and she's just up there already, you know.
Well, and both of them have a priority of their families
Yeah.
being important. And so if he could help her figure out how to do some of that balance, that'd be a great option, but I don't think that's really an option.
Can I see the salary again for the candidates?
Yeah.
David's the most expensive, but he's ranked what, second?
He's gonna be making 1.5, looks like.
Mm-hmm.
5 times, wait, it's 5 times salary over Arena.
That's how much more it would cost than just promoting Rena.
I don't know, from an employer's standpoint, I don't know if if I would spend that kind of money to hire somebody who my main goal would be to help the junior staff to rise. You know.
Well, he's already ranked second though, so he is producing. Out of all the firms and out of all the people, he's ranked second.
Yeah. Yeah, I still would have a difficult time to hire somebody who is almost done.
Yeah. That's why I would go with Sonia, just because it wouldn't cost as much to have her. And you know, like it stated, they're willing to get her up there.
But you also run the risk of her not being able to handle that much more volume.
Yeah. And I would think that with David, you know, starting out, that would have probably been the problem with David too, his family. But look where he's gotten, and he still has time to manage his family.
Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on what Steven's main priority is. Is it to get someone in there who can step in, take the spot, and go with little extra from him or from anyone else? Just fill this hole, go.
Yeah.
Then best option.
I feel like Reina right now, she is there. She is already taking power chip, and she is out on the go, except she doesn't have the rank and she doesn't have the assertiveness.
Yeah, I think she would do great in a smaller department, leading a smaller team for sure.
I think she's got the potential for greatness. They like what she's doing. But if it's years early, then it's still years early.
Yeah. And I think that would end up costing them more than getting someone from the outside who's already prepared.
Especially for clients, if the way you make your money is by clients wanting this analyst's data, she's not on the scale of people clients want their data for. She's not even in the pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Sonia is definitely my second choice.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I guess it depends on whether Steven's main priority is longevity in this position and being able to watch someone grow into it and being more cost effective at the moment, or if it's to fill the spot quickly with someone who can just take over. Because if David's already been researching semiconductors, he already knows about power chip. Maybe he doesn't have the context of power chip that Seth does, but he's already been researching this industry and been writing on this industry and ranked second for the last, what, many years? 15 or something?
Yeah.
He's been ranked for 15 years straight.
He has a lot of experience.
And that's a lot of star power name. So I guess it depends. Is your main priority where it is? Do you really just need someone to fill and go with no training? Or do you need someone who can be there longer, but still needs more training and more developing?
Well, even Sonia, with her all her experience and her competency, she'll still need a little training, just because she wanted a mentor when she gets in, so she can develop a relationship with the traders and the salespeople.
Mm-hmm. Which is mature to ask if you know you need it.
Yeah. I would definitely go with hiring someone that's going to be there longer and will need some training, just knowing that they will stick with the company a lot longer and that training won't go to waste.
Yeah. I feel like Sonia will probably be the type that will stay for a while just because when she sees her new salary, her jaw's gonna drop to the ground. And with
Whatever it
junior,
takes.
and then with her junior helpers too, she's gonna take off and run.
As long as she doesn't get overwhelmed, which is what they're. Well, no, I'm not saying that she can't. I'm just saying that was what client's concern was.
Mm-hmm.
Was she going from a small boutique to a big company would be overwhelming, and they were worried if she could handle the caseload, and they were really worried about her being able to travel to clients.
Yeah. I think with all that, I still think Sonia would be one of the better because so far, small boutique have been managing just fine. And then, I just imagine her being in a bigger company with a junior and like an assistant. And then with the new technology that she would have, I think she would just fly.
I loved her excitement, her response was, "Do you know how much I could leverage that?"
So do you guys think that Steven should have let Peter go?
There was the option of raising his salary to try to keep him, and they could have, because they said that was a financial possibility, and I know that was what Steven's boss wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go on, Jenny.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think if the guy wants to leave, and you offer him a bigger salary to say, is he still going to be resentful?
Yeah, it did state that that Peter wanted to resign. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
He put in his resignation at the beginning.
Okay. So I feel like if someone wants to resign, you can't really.
You can offer them more.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He resigned his resignation. He received an offer from one of the competitors, and they needed strong coverage of the industry right now.
So remember Gerald, he used other people's offer to leverage a higher pay with his previous company multiple times, right? And I feel like that's just leave a bad taste for the company. And I don't know if RSH should really increase Peter's pay and keep him there. If he wants to go, he's gonna go. I would let him go.
Yeah. It's one thing to talk about it. It's one of those, depends. How did you really like Peter as a person that much?
That's what I always think about each case that we do. Because you know how we have to come to some type of a conclusion, and then I say things, and then I think about it later, and I'm like, what if I'm actually in that situation? It's easier to look at it from an outside perspective, but what if I'm in that position? It would definitely be 10 times harder to think about it.
Yeah.
A lot of times I want to go back and ask these people more questions. Steven,
exactly.
Which is really more important to you right now?
Yeah.
Well, I would really like to see what the conclusion is, the rest of the story.
Yeah.
See where they went with them, where it went.
How it ends.
We don't have that one.
Yeah. I guess we don't find out on this one.
No.
Well, and I think that you could really think they could be okay with any of these people is really the crux of the matter. Any of them could be okay, which is why he's having a hard time choosing.
Oh, Gerald, definitely not okay.
Gerald's a no-go.
No. And Seth is a little, I don't know, iffy and lots of
Yeah.
questions with Seth.
Do you guys think that Steven should have talked to the recruiter? I think her name was Anita.
Anita.
Yeah, should he have talked to her more about Seth? Just ask more questions about him.
Or I was wondering, how come Stephen didn't ask Craig? Who is this? Ask his original recruiter. Ask Craig, who is this Seth? How come you didn't bring him on as one of the candidates?
And yeah, that would be one of the other questions. Why didn't you ask Craig about Seth? Are you scared that Craig's going to find out somebody else is looking? Oh no,
Yeah.
he'll have.
No, because in the beginning it already said that they have good relationship.
Right.
Craig, and so it's a question. It's a matter of picking up the phone and say, "Hey, Craig, who is this guy?
Right.
Give me more information on him."
Yeah, or just ask the recruiter who gave Seth's name out.
Or ask
is this person,
and ask Craig about who is this Anita? What is her credibility?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely look into more information about Seth.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like if we did have more information about him, maybe he would be great for the company. But as far as we know, with the information that we have, it's still kind of iffy.
Yeah. I don't feel comfortable with Seth. Gerald is a no-go. It's between David and Sonia.
Yeah.
And Reina. I still like Reina.
Well, and I get, and Rena's good too. And that would encourage the company culture of being promoted, right? Succession planning.
Mm-hmm.
But you have succession planning, but if you can't get the plan to work, you still have a plan. But if you say in 3 years I need to get here, and we jump ahead 3 years, that's still, you're not following your plan still.
Yeah. So there's one last question in the agenda that really got me thinking. And it says, does the performance at one firm guarantee high performance at another firm?
Nope.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, which I think would
There's
make it
no guarantee.
a little harder hiring someone because.
Mm-hmm.
You guys look at that at all?
Yeah.
And there's some things that are cross-compatible.
Yeah. I do definitely think that performance in one firm, it doesn't guarantee high performance in the other, and that makes it harder to choose because, like we said, David's great. David's up there. He probably would do great in this new company. And then thinking about Sonia, she's doing great where she's at, but what about moving her to a bigger company?
Environment.
Yeah.
You could take a fish in a little pond and throwing it into a really big pond, like an ocean. The fish didn't change sizes.
Yeah.
That's why I always go back to Rina, thinking that, she's already been with the company and she is accustomed to the company culture.
Yeah.
And
thinking about that too, I feel like if they were to hire Sonia and give her the training, why not just keep Rina,
and groom her.
Yeah, and then train her just like they were going to train Sonia.
It'll be half the price.
Yeah.
Well, part of it is because Sonia's already a senior analyst. And so there's that part of the training they don't have to do. They don't have to teach her.
Would they be saving that same amount of money training Rina, or would it just cost more to train Rina instead of having Sonia and training Sonia?
Because they don't really have to do that much training in Sonia. She wants a mentor, yes, but that's to make contacts and get to know people in the field. It's not training her how to do the job.
I guess that's true.
Because she's already doing the job. She's already in the industry. She's already working in that semiconductor field.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't have to train her of how to be a senior analyst. She's already doing that. She's already got the recognition of the II magazine as someone who's up and coming. Rena, I wonder how many clients they would lose if they promoted Rena. Because that's how they make their money, is if the clients want those reports.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody knows who that Rena is, are they going to still want her reports?
That's very true.
Not that she can't do the job and grow into it. I just keep coming back to, if it's still years early in their succession training plans for her to get her own group and to do that, and she's not there yet. And it was a bunch of Steven's peers and his boss who wanted someone other than her, and they are in that same company already.
That's true.
That's where I see you running into problems, because when it comes down to it, you are a business to make money, quite literally.
Yeah.
And if you aren't going to get clients wanting those reports, then you're not making money anymore.
Yeah. I just feel like this is
Rena.
a tough case. Having to choose someone.
I think pretty much everyone other than Rena, well, they're not going to work. Even if you tell them no, it's not like they still are where they are.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you tell her no, she's going to feel it. But she's also been prepared for it too. As soon as Peter left, it's not like she immediately thought, yeah, I'm going to get his position right away.
No, they definitely had to talk about that already.
And that when she was promoted to senior analyst to cover for him, that was already part of the conversation.
Yeah. She was already aware of that, definitely. I don't know.
And she's still stuck. Doesn't mean she wants it, but she was expecting it.
Yeah. I'm still stuck between Sonia and David. I honestly just feel if you just put them together,
it'd be great.
It'd be amazing.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we covered everything in the agenda. Do you guys have any other points you want to include?
No, I think we talked about everything already.
Yeah.
Mostly everything.
Yeah. Great discussion. It definitely got me thinking about a lot of different things.
I'm like, Well, and it does make me wonder, like, when you go to hire people, what things you really need to be looking for and what things really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about I'm seeing people doing business management as a major here, but then you are in management and you do have to make hiring and firing decisions.
Yeah.
And those aren't the easy ones.
It's really hard.
Makes choosing with this case hard too, because we're not really sure what Steven is specifically looking for. Like he says, we want this, but we're also willing to work with this, which, again, we're stuck between David and Sonia with that.
I think he said the way he prioritized it, he had like different tiers of what were important when he first started talking to Craig. He was first looking for, what was it? He wanted the star power to start, I think is what the first thing he said. Here's it. They've got the comments. So he starts with, I need to hire a senior person to cover the semiconductors quickly. And that's where he started with both Craig and when he's talking to this other guy, Peter, at the same firm. My first choice is to replace Peter with another star, even though we have to pay them star level compensation, but we not be able to get one of those. And I don't know if that's what his first thoughts are. then David would probably be best.
Mhm.
Those are his first thoughts. My second option is to hire a senior person from a smaller firm, but that takes more time, and you don't know how they'll succeed in a large firm. They have more resources, but they have to establish more relationships and please more people quickly, and traveling globally. And Locke can't make the adjustment. It's on page 3, is when we first start talking about that.
Yeah,
And
so I
so
definitely think it would be first go with David and then Sonia.
And then Sonia would probably be the better mix that way.
Yeah, I feel like Stephen's requirements evolve over time.
I think they do evolve over time. As he can see that, okay, we could make these work, but how many times do you also do I want this. This is what I want. But I guess I'd be okay with this, and this would be okay too, and I could make that work. And I don't know.
Well, this whole case, I just could not believe the amount of money that they make, though,
Right?
as a senior analyst.
Part of me at the same time goes, but what do they give up? Do they actually get a chance to enjoy that money? If they really
I
are
feel
on
like they have no life.
if this is their entire life, is it worth it?
Yeah,
Unless you're like David, trust your junior analyst, and then go and fix everything after.
Well, and he said there wasn't anything to fix after.
That's true.
They got upset right then because he wasn't at their beck and call always. But if he had trained his junior analyst to handle it, then is it that big of a deal? Right.
Yeah.
It's important to have a person who also says, no, this is more important to me right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I definitely think we're stuck between David and Sonia. Just because of those things.
I think his first choice would probably be David, just because you don't have to, he can just get dumped in the spot and go.
Yeah, and he would be the one training other people.
Mm-hmm. And he likes the idea of training other people.
Yeah.
Which is always a bonus.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to work in a team-oriented atmosphere. If he treats his people well and they like him and he's a good mentor, then that's great. I like Sonia a lot for the position, but she would have to grow also. I think she'd be great personality-wise. I think she'd be great for the company as a whole. And she could last longer, assuming she doesn't get freaked out and burnt out by the volume. Which you never know until you throw someone in there.
Very true.
And then Rena she's in the right place. She's doing what she should. There's nothing wrong with her. But also, no one knows her.
Yeah.
And
my biggest problem with Rena is that she's not assertive enough for the team that she has. I think she would definitely do better in a smaller team.
It's the throwing someone into a position they're not quite ready for.
Yeah.
Give her her own team, yeah. Keep her as a senior analyst, yes. But maybe not in this particular spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Well, thank you guys for a great discussion.
Yeah, thank you. I think this was great.
I think we've been a little over time.
Yeah.
And I need to go back to work. All right. Well, who's hosting next time?
I think today's the 24th. It's me.
Okay.
I get the holiday ones. I didn't do it on purpose, but it's what's happening.
Okay. All right. Yeah, maybe just go onto that spreadsheet and see if there are other spots that need to be filled. I think I have 4.
I think we needed everybody to have 3 if we do have whatever his name is. I just forgot right this second. Sam.
Yes.
If we do have Sam, everybody needed to have 3 spots. Without Sam, then we'll need to have probably 4.
4.
I'll try emailing our professor today to ask about Sam.
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, awesome, guys.
Well, thanks for doing this. Okay, have a good day, guys.
See ya.
Take care.